Strategists argue President Obama is taking a big step to the left since the Republican sweep of Congress last week. The GOP now holding the majority in the Senate, 53-46, pending the runoff in Louisiana next month. Plus, strengthening their grip on the House. So time for some real talk with Tony Sayegh, Fox News contributor, and Bernard Whitman, back, former Bill Clinton pollster and CEO of Whitman Insight Strategies. All right, the two of you are back here in the studio for the real story. Is he going all the way to the left, Bernard?
No, he's taking a big step towards the middle. Thank goodness. I'm hoping that he is finally taking a page out of Bill Clinton's playbook.
Middle?
Yes, and here's why.
We just have been reporting all hour about an immigration
Well, you guys are wrong,
plan.
which is no surprise. Here's why.
Wait, excuse me.
No, here's why. The reason is he shows the Democratic Party can be both pro-jobs and pro-climate change, pro-environment. Why? He got a deal done with China, and I hope that he's actually going to allow Keystone to go forward. I think that actually will happen.
Did you see what his spokesperson said about that? Probably not.
No.
He actually used the V word. But back to immigration. I don't think we're wrong on this 10-point plan that we've been talking about on this show, that he's going to grant amnesty to 4.5 million Americans and much more. And
he's taking a big step towards the center. Why? Even exit polls from last week show that 54% of people want action on immigration reform. People will back the president on immigration reform. We have been waiting for years. The Senate had a bipartisan bill. The House didn't pick it up. The president should absolutely act.
Is that a move to the middle?
No. They may want action. They don't want amnesty, Bernard, and essentially that's what the president is repackaging in this executive action. In the week since the election, Gretchen, he's gone to China, made a deal on climate change, an issue that most Americans don't really think is a top priority. He's intimated action, executive action, which is potentially unconstitutional on immigration reform, not working with Congress, that said they are open to discussing this bill. They just want to do it through the codified process of lawmaking in Congress rather than executive action. He said no. He's already said no Obamacare fixes. He's not willing to do anything to adjust the law that we all know now was based on a lie, a farce, and is false. And he's double downing on this striking, stubborn lack of presidential leadership that got him to this low point in the first place, Gretchen. You got to remember, in the context of history, this president has suffered the most electoral defeats in 2 consecutive midterms since the 1920s. A net loss of 69 House seats, a net loss of 14 Senate seats, and he looks very fixated on sticking to this course, which is not the bipartisan course.
We're going to have to see what happens in the lame duck session and then moving forward. I got to move on to this because 2 former presidents in a good-natured tug-of-war over social media. President Clinton tweeted a photo of himself reading Bush 43's new book about his father, along with a ribbing hashtag to his successor, "How are you still not on Twitter?" Well, President Bush said thanks and poked him back for not being on Instagram and tagged him hashtag brother from another mother. All right, so we have these 2 presidents having this great friendship, Bernard, and yet, I don't know, do you think President Obama is going to fit into that mix when he's done being president?
Well, like I said, I hope the president takes a playbook from Bill Clinton, but I give Clinton and Bush a great deal of credit. Why? I'm a huge fan of Twitter and Instagram. I'm on both. And I don't think it's a surprise that Clinton is gravitating towards Twitter and W is gravitating towards Instagram, because I think fundamentally Twitter is a little bit more about substance, Instagram is a little bit more about style. I think it says a lot about the guys and their administrations.
Come on.
The way I see it, Instagram is cool and Twitter is for dorks. So maybe that's and we're on both. So
how about Bernard making it political? I mean, I was just trying to have a lighthearted discussion about it, and it's come down to politics.
And you know what's great, though, is the stories that have come out with the 2 of them, that President Clinton was called often by President Bush during his own administration. That's one thing I'm pretty certain President Obama is not doing, is reaching across to this great group of former presidents that could help him out.
I'm sure that President Clinton, that is Hillary Clinton, will be more than happy to call on George W. Bush and console him of his brother's defeat.
That is, unless Jeb Bush beats her. All right, don't miss a conversation with number 43 tonight on Fox News Channel. Sean Hannity goes one-on-one with former President George W. Bush. That's tonight, Hannity, 10 p.m. Eastern, right here on Fox.